Back 7:15 on your Friday. November is National Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month. And if you deal with this in your family, you know it's every single day. So this month is a time to bring awareness to a condition that affects more than 7 million Americans and their entire families. While many of us are familiar with the name, there's a lot to understand still about Alzheimer's and also know how to spot the warning signs early. Dr. Maren Gregerson, she is a behavioral neurologist with OCHNSER Health, and she is here to talk about the importance of finding the right kind. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me to talk about this important and unfortunate disease.
It really is. You were saying in the commercial break that Alzheimer's is one cause of dementia. Talk about how important that distinction is.
Yes, so I can understand why a lot of people might think that Alzheimer's disease and dementia are the same thing, but there's actual multiple causes of dementia. Alzheimer's is just the most common cause of dementia. Dementia means that memory and thinking are affecting your daily functioning. And so Alzheimer's is a buildup of different proteins in the brain that tends to start by affecting short-term memory.
Talk about what you prescribe for each type, if you can.
Absolutely. And so Alzheimer's disease, again, because it's a buildup of different proteins in the brain, we have treatments that are aimed specifically at that first protein that builds up, which is called amyloid protein. But there are some other medications that can be used for multiple types of dementia. One of the important things to understand about our brains in general is that our neurons themselves don't actually touch. There's space between those neurons, and chemicals are sent between them to signal to each other. When Alzheimer's protein builds up, that unfortunately blocks that space between those neurons, and as more proteins build up, those neurons unfortunately die and get spread further apart. So medications that some people might already know about that have been around for decades actually help to keep those neurotransmitters in the brain. And so even though they don't change the course of the disease, unfortunately they can't keep any neurons alive. They can help get more functioning out of the brain.
What is there?
Exactly. Those medications are things like donepezil or Aricept or rivastigmine or Exelon. And there's a similar medication called Namenda or memantine that can also be helpful.
So we have about 30 seconds, Doc, and I always want to leave our audience with hope, especially with this kind of disease that's just, it's pervasive. Talk about the best therapy, the best research that you're now seeing that can possibly make somebody say, we're going to do something good.
So the biggest reason that frankly, I'm just getting to know is that we now have these anti-amyloid therapies. Anti-amyloid therapies actually help to dissolve the amyloid protein from the brain. So unlike those other medications that help to get out more functioning, this can actually change the progression of the disease. If we catch you in the earliest stages, we can actually modify that course and buy you more time to stay the same way that you're functioning right now with your family.
Really good stuff. Doc, thank you so much for being here.